Covered with chemtrails every single day in most areas of the United States. If you haven't picked up on chemtrails and you think it's still a conspiracy, you need to look up Bill Gates' patent on said chemtrails, where he's literally admitted to releasing barium and aluminum and heavy metals into the air that will go into your body and cause a delay in response and all those things. If you don't know, aluminum itself is in your deodorants, it's in the air you breathe, it's in all around you. Okay? I bring up Bill Gates and it kicks me off for a second. So I'm going to say this. Hey, Facebook, this is for entertainment purposes only. So, yeah, if you expose me, you're exposing yourself. But I'm going to go on and say this, okay? Things are being released into the air all the time for a reason. What aluminum does is gives you a brain fog, unlike anything you can imagine. And also, there's nanotech that's actually been released in a lot of things and foods you eat also. So heavy metal detox is something that you guys should be doing pronto and stat. I have learned kick me off. It says, I'm going to tell you guys the best way to heavy metal detox I've learned is pure sulfur. Okay, you can look online and find there's 99% sulfur crystals is what you're going to look for. Sulfur crystals, what they'll do is bind like a magnet all those heavy metals that you've been breathing in and putting in your armpits for years and years and years, and it'll push them out of your body. Okay, heavy metals such as aluminum are actually one of the biggest causes of Alzheimer's. If you know what Alzheimer's is, like me. Okay, my grandpa died of Alzheimer's, and it was horrible to watch. He'd lose his mind, he'd forget a lot of things, and it was so sad. But see, aluminum itself will literally cause a brain fog in your life like you've never even imagined you could have. Okay, the more metals you have, the more you'll have of that brain fog. You know, you're supposed to be awake and alert in these days, okay? So start doing that. Then there's this, okay? You also need to stay away from fluoride, chloride, all of those things, chlorine, even chlorine pools. You need to know what that does to you, okay? Also will calcify things such as your pineal gland, not to be worshipped like they do over in India, but indeed is part of your body that is to be used, okay? And when you have a big old shield over it, a callus over it, well, you can't see nor think clearly. Okay, so that's two ways of clogging your judgment, clogging your ways of thinking and things of that sort. But don't worry, we're going to get to the worms here in a minute, because this will truly open your eyes. I want to say this also. I have a guy up here, Lashlan, I don't know how to say your name, over in Australia, Elijah Quinlan. And you have an awesome name, I just don't know how to say it. If you guys want to look into detox stuff, I tell you, he has a lot of good stuff on his page, but I'm going to probably open up a few other things today, okay? Now, so we've gone through fluoride and chloride. Make sure you're not putting your toothpaste with fluoride in your mouth, okay? Make sure you find some fluoride free. You know, there's a reason why you're in kindergarten and they take you and well, this is what they did when I was in school. When you're in kindergarten, the kindergarten teacher goes around with that pink little cup, and she gives it to you as a little kid, knowing dang on well, as a little kid, you're not going to spit out all of it. Some of that bubblegum, sweet, good tasting flavor is going to slide right down their throat, and they're going to be introduced to fluoride at a young age. Their way, they can be easily teachable, easily manipulated, and easily tricked into the governmental system. Okay, so make sure you get those things out of your way nowadays. But that's not the most important thing yet. Let's talk about the big old elephant in the room, okay? Let's talk about something crazy. Okay, you guys know I love some big mind blowers. I've gathered so much scripture today for you guys. It's going to truly blow your minds. I promise. Okay. You know, a lot of people in today's world are really finally opening up to realizing that parasites are a pretty big deal. That parasites could indeed be demons. Oh, wait, what do you mean, Dustin? That's so dumb. Well, watch this, okay? Don't you know that he says that there's angels all around you fighting a battle for you? Well, don't you know in your body you have good parasites and bad parasites, and you have good gut bacteria and you have bad gut bacteria? Both of those things are living cells, living creatures inside of you that are fighting for your life. Do you know you have red blood cells? You have white blood cells. You have different types of everything in your body fighting to keep you alive, all created by the Most High Father himself. Okay? You have indeed little, what I call, disembodied spirits of good and bad fighting in your body right now. Sounds crazy, right? You're like, that's not in the Bible. Wait and see. This should truly get you. All right? So indeed, he's created everything so marvelous and spectacular that he's even got little good gut bacteria, bad gut bacteria, good parasites, bad parasites for you. Okay? So let's start talking about those parasites and what the Bible has to say about the situation. Let's go back to why pigs are called an abomination. Well, you need to know, okay? There's actually passages and old texts and things like that where people were turned into beasts in the Bible, such as, well, King Nebuchadnezzar was turned into a beast in the field for a set amount of time, 7 years. Nimrod was turned into an ape, a giant Nephilim ape, if you want to be specific, hence King Kong. And then a third part of his people that worked with him were turned to apes and elephants, hence Dumbo and his big old Nephilim ears, okay? Disney loves to show you things. Apes and elephants, okay, people were turned into. Then you've got Cain, marked with a horn protruding from his forehead, that he was seen and killed as a beast in the field by Lamech and Tubal, who become Tubal Cain because he tricked his blind dad into shooting said unicorn that was a hairy beast in the field, okay? He's been known in the Bible for turning things into things constantly, all right? You need to know this also. Okay, there's also a section where a group of children were turned to pigs. Whether or not that was omitted out or not, it's been passed around in old tales. Now, you need to know this. There's something crazy about pigs a lot of people don't realize. Pigs do not have pores. You know, they're called abominations for a reason. They're prisons for disembodied spirits. They're prisons for parasites, if you want to be specific. That's why they make pigskin basketballs and pigskin footballs. You know, balls. Like everybody over here, I see people even on my page, they're posting pictures and videos of their children playing in the Roman sports system, playing with baseballs. You know, ball, the prince and power of the air. Baseballs, footballs, soccer balls, golf balls, tennis balls, all kinds of balls they're playing with, even the globe ball model, okay? You're obsessed with ball in Rome, okay? So you've got your children even playing with all the ball of the world, and most of it is pig. You need to know this also. In the end, the people shall be deceived by pharmakia. Do you know what pharmakia is? Indeed, pharmakia is indeed a type of magic, a type of sorcery, and it's also a type of hospitals that are going around today. Do you know that 90% of the capsules that you take from pharmacies, from Walgreens, from Walmarts are pig? Actually, that's how they get it to gel up, is pig. So every time you're taking your doctor's pill, you're putting an abomination in your body without even realizing it. You give your kids Jell-O, well, most of the gelatin in Jell-O is pig. Then you got to realize this. It's crazy to me how people, including myself, are so deceived by this for such a long time. Pig is in everything that you can imagine for a reason, because in these days, the last short season of the world, they try to deceive you indeedly with everything. They try to get you to do the things the Bible tells you not to do. Consumption of the flesh. Well, that's why they're putting kids and people in McDonald's and burgers and things like that, and your ground meats in your Walmarts and stuff like that. Facebook, this is for entertainment purposes only. You can search this stuff out yourself, whatever. Anyway, let's keep on going with that. So this brings me to my point. Let's look at what took place with Yahusha and the demoniac that was filled with the legion of demons. And they were like, hey, wait, let's cast over there, because this. Well, you know those demons that were cast out of the demoniac? They were cast into swine. They were cast into swine, like you cast a spell. They were cast into swine, okay? And those swine went insane. Fun fact, cancer and almost every single problem that you have in modern day society isn't a disease as you think. It's a parasite disorder. Parasites cause, indeed, anxiety, depression, sleep insomnia, bipolar disorder, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And yet they say, hey, take this capsule with pig stuff in it. And then they just constantly got you eating like crustaceans and all that stuff too that are poop eaters. And you're like, oh, I love shrimp. It's okay to eat it because Peter said so. You need to know. Peter misinterpreted the vision. And at the end of the same chapter that you're looking at, the parentheses where man added in parentheses, he says, this is where he proclaimed that all meats are clean. No, he didn't proclaim that. That was the man who wrote that in afterwards. If you read the rest of the chapter, he says word for word this. Oh, I've come to the understanding that the gospel is now open to the Jews and the Gentiles. No, has nothing to do with animals. or pigs, but indeed people. Okay, so here's this. He didn't change the molecular structure of a pig, and you go anywhere else in the world outside of Mystery Babylon the Great, and pigs are called an abomination. It was crazy. They look like basketballs rolling across the ground out there. It was disgusting. Okay, so cut pig out of your diet. Okay, cut fluoride, cut chlorine, cut all it out, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, those pigs were driven insane by those parasites, and they ran off the cliff and into the sea, back into the ocean, because parasites indeed, just like Dagon, the frog-like spirit. You know, it talks about the 3 frog-like spirits coming out of the oceans, out of the water, out of the mouth of the dragon. Okay? Well, you need to know what that is. Have you ever looked at what a vril looks like? What a parasite vril, a hydra velocis, or however the word you say it. Have you seen how it looks like? It looks just like a tadpole, like a baby frog that's born out of the water. Like parasites are born out of moisture, nastiness, sickness. Okay? So, here's this. Let's read some scripture today. A lot of scripture that talks about worms that you didn't even know was in your Bible. And this is why he tells you man must not live on bread alone. You're also told to fast on once a week type of thing. That's the whole thing with the Sabbath. If you read Isaiah 58, it starts teaching how to fast before it teaches you anything else. Right there in Isaiah 58. Okay? So fasting is important because when you fast, what it does is it breaks down and kills those parasites. Literally, eats them away. Eats away your bad fat cells and all of that stuff as well. Starts to kill them. And also there's this. Okay? Eat clean in these days. You want to think clearly. You want to speak clearly. You want to remember clearly. You got to start detoxing. And I'm going to show you scriptures that tell you why. Let's start with Isaiah chapter 14, verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Mark 9:44, where their worm dieth not, and their fire is not quenched. Mark 9:46, where their worm dieth not, and their fire is not quenched. Mark 9:48, where their worm dieth not, and their fire is not quenched. Deuteronomy 28:39, thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine, nor gather the grapes, for their worm shall eat them. Realize that we're the grapes that go through the wine press, and we indeed got worms crawling all around inside of us. When it talks about grapes, we're the fruit of the vine. We are the grapes produced for the harvest, okay? We go through the wine press. We're the grapes that are smashed and given a new wineskin, which is a new grape skin, okay? Because the old ones were full of worms. Now here's this. Job 24:20 says, the womb shall forget him, the worm shall feed sweetly on him, and he shall no more remember what I was telling you? It takes away your memory. He shall be no more remembered, and wickedness as a tree. Job 25:6 says this, how much less man that is a worm, and the son of man which is a worm. Ponder on that one. Isaiah 66:24 says this, and Isaiah 66:24, Facebook keeps cutting me off. Isaiah 66:24 says this, and they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither their fire shall be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. Meaning those dead people who die full of demons leave behind a residue, a parasite. This is why when you die, maggots overtake you. This is why when King Herod died, his maggots, his worms overtook him. Okay? Over and over and over again. Let's look in some other texts that I guarantee you haven't read before. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 9 says this, for when the horrible fierceness of beasts came upon these, and they perished with the stings of crooked serpents, like worms, thy wrath endured not forever. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 4. For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. Now, I want to pause there and tell you what that one is all about. You guys, I'm going to go and tell you, I've been doing this crazy detox for 2 weeks now, and it's been fabulous. However, every time it cuts me off. However, okay, while I've been detoxing, my dreams have been insane. I have been seeing all kinds of things. I mean, like crazy things, like things I could tell you and it'd probably bring fear straight to you. So a lot of people think I fear mongle. So I keep a lot of that stuff to myself. But I hate to tell you this, but for the last 3 years, I've had a lot of my dreams literally come true and left. Keep it to myself most of the time, but you want to start dreaming clearly? Well, indeed, you'll start having those visions and dreams. And I tell you, they're not all good. Those parasites inside of you, as you're purging them out, will make you have dreams of purging, dreams of fire, dreams of all that things. No joke. However, you also have dreams of revelation as things are starting to clear out. Okay? Let's look even further. Sirach chapter 10, verse 11. For when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms. Sirach chapter 7, 17. Humble thy soul greatly, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. Sirach chapter 9. And worms shall have him to heritage, and a bald man shall be taken away. Sirach chapter 19, verse 4. He that is hasty to give credit is light-minded, and he that sinneth shall offend against his own soul. Facebook, you need to leave me alone. Let's keep on going. Matthew chapter 17, verse 21. Howbeit this kind goeth out, not out, but by prayer and fasting. Let's read that again, because a lot of people have read this before and they didn't even know what it means. This is why you fast. This is why you pray. Okay, not all things can be done a certain way. They have to be fasting involved with that. So Matthew chapter 17 verse 21 says once again, howbeit this kind of demon, goes not out but by fasting and prayer. Isaiah 58:6 says this, is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and let the oppressed go, and free, and that ye break every yoke. Once again, that's Isaiah 58. That's all part of keeping the Sabbath. Okay? Let's keep on going. Matthew chapter 6 verse 17 says this, but thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head, and wash thy face, a.k.a. clean yourself. Do not practice bad hygiene. You practice bad hygiene, and indeed, you will, what? You will have a better, healthier, non-parasite infested life. Did you know it? All right, let's keep on going. Matthew chapter 6, verse 18 says this, that thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto the Father, which is in secret, and thy Father, which seeth in secret, shall reward thee openly. Judith 8:6, and she fasted all the days of her widowhood, save the eves of the Sabbaths, and the eves of the new moons, and the feasts, and the solemn days of the house of Israel. 2 Esdras chapter 7, 125. And therefore is she sorrowful, and mourneth, and weepeth, because the multitude of them that are to be born shall perish. Let's keep on reading. Keep on reading. 2 Esdras 8:52. Okay? For unto you is paradise, open the tree of life, is planted, the time to come is prepared, plantiness, I can't even say that word, is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, perfect goodness and wisdom. Okay? Now let's keep on reading. For fire, this is Baruch chapter 4:35. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils, a.k.a. worms, demons, parasites, all the ones we've read about before, that will come inside of you for taking part in wickedness, including eating unclean foods, is how you allow that door to open for said parasite's body. Also, there's this. I'm going to be very blunt, and I always have to say this first. Moms and dads, if you have your children watching the video, like usually, it's okay. I encourage kids to watch my videos. I keep it PG-13. However, I'll say this. Cover their ears and eyes if you don't want them to hear this, but if you want them to hear truth and learn truth, that's another thing, okay? I'm just going to be honest. Okay, you ever wonder why fornication and things like... I paused, okay? Look, have you ever wondered why fornication and why pervertedness, okay, and why things like that are spoken against, such as, let's be blunt, masturbation, things that are done behind closed doors, perverted ways of the flesh. Do you know why that's spoken against? Because of all the bacteria and disgusting filth that is involved in those things, and what that even does to your body, not to mention your mind and spirit. Okay, so what you're doing is allowing a door to be open once again. When you take part in pornography and fornication and desires of the flesh and things like that, you're indeed going to bring things into your body and into your life that will indeed overtake you. Open the door and let them in, or close it. Okay, it is what it is. Turn from the... All right, let's see. Enoch chapter 15 verse 8. And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling place. Enoch 15:9. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies. From their bodies. Have you seen Blood of Zeus yet? On Netflix? It's all about big giant titans. It's all about big giant titans of old that were taken and bound in the deep. After they were killed, they were bound in the deep. So what they do is they have people against mankind, and they go find these demon bodies, and they consume their flesh, taking in the parasites that remain behind. Hence the demon spirits, parasites, proceeding forth into man, just like Dagon, the fish god. Okay? So let's keep on going here. Let's read that again so now you see it. And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and the flesh, spirits and the flesh, shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling, because evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men and from the holy watchers is their beginning and the primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on the earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. So let's just stop there with reading some scriptures right now, okay? I want to make this very clear. If you didn't pick up on that, that's about 20 plus scriptures about worms, parasites, demons, spirits, and things like that will come into your body and wreak havoc. Okay, will cause a clouded judgment. Will cause you to have eyes that cannot see, and ears that cannot hear, and noses that cannot smell, okay? All kinds of things, disgusting things. So what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to put you guys on a detox regimen that I have been on for the last 2 weeks that has truly, truly been a blessing. And I say this because my mind is wide open right now. Okay, my dreams are amazingly incredible, whether they're scary, whether they're fantastic, whether they're good, whether they're bad, it doesn't matter. I love it. I prayed for this. I was like, Father, open my eyes, show me the things you want me to see. Treat me like you did Daniel. Treat me like you did Joseph. Treat me like you did all those other ones. Show me the things you want to show me. Scare me if you have to. Okay? So what I've done is, in order to do that, it says certain things require fasting and praying. And I want to say this again because Facebook cut me out. I keep the Sabbath. I eat clean. I don't touch unclean things. And I've been on this regimen. My body only needs about 4 to maybe 5 hours of sleep at a time. And that's it. And I'm not kidding. Like, I can go to bed at like 12 o'clock and wake up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'm good to go right now. I've never been like that before in my life. It's pretty incredible. It's really awesome. Meaning this. Can you imagine what all the fluoride, chloride, and heavy metals and toxins has caused your body to do? Like, it slows you down a lot. It makes you real tired. It makes you real heavy-headed. Makes you real lazy. Makes you real sloth. Makes you real confused. Makes you where you don't even want to learn to grow, because all your body's doing is fighting demons and parasites all day long. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I have never felt so fantastic in my life. And even eating, okay? I don't have the cravings anymore. When I do eat, it's like 1 to 2 times a day, and I'm completely fine, completely full, truly, okay? I'm not saying any of this to boast. I'm saying this because it's physically possible for you to do this. When you consume parasites, those parasites inside you will crave and crave and crave and crave and crave and be like, hey, Go pick that up. You need it, because I need it. Hey, go pick that up, and you need it. I need it. Hey, go to McDonald's. I'd love to have some child flesh. Go get that burger, because I know it's got some flesh in it, because I need it, is what the parasites are telling you inside. So like, oh, I got to go to McDonald's. I got to go get up some shredded meat somewhere grocery store. No, you don't. I'm 6'7", okay? I'm about 180 pounds, and I feel fantastic. I don't eat hardly anything anymore, and I sleep the minimum, and I eat right, I drink right, and I fast, I pray, I keep the Sabbath, and I do my best to follow his word in accordance. Because like I said, I answered the call of coming out of Babylon. I answered the call to be a worker during the harvest. And in order to do that, it says, do not touch any unclean thing. Oh, thank you. Y'all didn't miss anything. I paused, okay? So here's this, okay? I want to say once again, I eat right, I keep the Sabbath, I don't touch any unclean thing, and it says those that are exiling Babylon, word for word, not just a spiritual leaving, those who are exiling Babylon, it says don't touch any unclean thing and keep his commands. See, a lot of people hate that one. They're like, oh, but they were nailed to the cross because some straight as the gate group told me that. Nah, they weren't nailed to the cross. You need to know that. They're given to you for a reason. For example, if you love him, you will keep his commandments. And that's what loving your neighbor and loving him is. The first half of the commandments is how to love God. The second half of the commandments is how to love people. Hence, love God and love people. How? By not killing them, by not stealing from them, not lying to them, not coveting on them, not cheating on your wife, not having any other gods before God, keeping the Sabbath day holy, okay? Not taking his name in vain. All of those things are how you love God and love people, aka keep them. They are fruits of the Spirit, and those are things that can be seen as good works toward men, okay? Keep the Sabbath, man. And do not touch any unclean thing. Now, I have to get on this regiment because it seems like Facebook's trying to kick me off, okay? Here we go. I hope you have a pen and paper. Maybe some of you guys will type some of this stuff down here at the bottom for like a little reminder for someone. I've got it down pat because I do this stuff all day long, every day now for a literal 2 weeks straight, and I feel fantastic, okay? So let's go right now. All right? Whew. First of all, let me prepare you too. When you poo, be ready for what comes out, okay? If you want to take pictures as a testimony to men, go for it, okay? Okay. I think it's working right now. I think it's working. Can someone let me know if it's working? I'm really hoping so. Please? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? I'm thinking I'm going to stay in here. Maybe it's a little bit better. All right, I'm just going to pretend that you can. All right, so here we go. Here's what I do. All right? Whew. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do immediately, like when I first wake up immediately, first thing I do is this. I have a jar that keeps track of like ounces, okay? I fill it up to 16 ounces with water that is filtered and clean, okay? Use a zero water filter. It doesn't matter. Get some clean filtered water. 16 ounces of it. With that 16 ounces of water, you need to get some key limes, okay? Not just limes, not just lemons, key limes, which are 100% more vitamin C than your regular wimpy limes and lemons. Okay? So like I said, get you one or two, I do two key limes. Make sure they're juicy. Okay? I even keep the seeds in them. It says every fruit bearing with seed. Okay? You take it and you squeeze both of those key limes into that filtered water, 16 ounces. After that, you do, what I do is I call it a dash, okay? When you pour it in a jar, it'll cover like the top of it red. Do it with your own handling. Let it can be something that you increase, okay? Cayenne pepper, dragon cayenne pepper, okay? Ground dragon cayenne pepper. You're going to do a little bit of that. A dash, or you can do a fourth a teaspoon of dragon cayenne pepper. Add that in there. Then what you're going to do is get you some salt, okay? I do know some people are against your pink Himalayan salt because they think that, you know, it's part of the Nephilim flesh. But don't forget, it does say in the end we'll be feeding on the behemoth and the Leviathan, okay? You need to know that, all right? It just is what it is. We're the... Okay, you didn't miss anything. 16 ounces of water, okay? Key lime. Dragon cayenne ground pepper, okay? Then what you're going to do is get you some salt, whether it's sea salt, whether it's pink Himalayan salt. You need to know we're called the salt of the earth. It is what it is. Salts are rocks and minerals, and there are things that have been petrified in the earth and turned to basalt and salts of the earth. Okay, so here we go. 16 ounces of water, 2 key limes, 1/4 teaspoon of Dragon Cayenne pepper powder. Okay. Then what you got is your salt. What you're going to do is do about 1/4 teaspoon of that, or you can do a dash or pinch. Let it adjust as you want to. You can increase this daily, okay? After that, only in the morning, because if you do it at nighttime, it'll cause you to have a little energy surge. I want you to take 1/2 teaspoon of local honey and put it in there. Celtic salt is okay, but you got to be careful where you get that from, because those have some very heavy metals mixed in those nowadays. Okay, so that's your concoction for, oh, and apple cider vinegar, not a whole lot, only 1/4 teaspoon of that. So here we go. You ready? Here it comes. Once again, please. Okay. 16 ounces of water, 2 key limes, Dragon Cayenne pepper, okay, 1/4 teaspoon of honey, okay, and then 1/4 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. You're going to drink that all, like gulp, 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 gulp. Just get it down. It's really not even that bad. After you're done with that, wait about 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes, okay? Once that's gone through, the next thing you're going to do, and only do this one every other day, you're going to get that sulfur, the pure sulfur crystal salts I was telling you. Okay? What you're going to do with that, okay, is 1/4 teaspoon to a teaspoon. I mean, 1/2 teaspoon to a full teaspoon. It depends on what you can handle, okay? Make sure you give time for your... Okay, so take that. You're going to take that teaspoon of sulfur crystals and mix it with an 8-ounce glass of water, okay? And you're going to drink that down. What that's going to do is not only help you flush your morning toxins, but it's also going to flush your heavy metals, okay? Now, this is so important. After you're done with that, you're going to be like, I'm going to be hungry. No, you're not, okay? There's cravings, okay? Once you're done with that, you need to at least give that 45 minutes. After that's done, what you can do, if you would like to, is eat you some avocado, banana, or some eggs. Those 3 things are my choices in the morning. Light. Eat that, okay? Let that process through, once again, a 30, 45-minute thing if you want, or even longer, because this next one is the key, okay? This time, all you're going to do is make a 2 to 4 ounce shot of warm water, not boiling hot, warm water. When you have that boiling warm water, okay, what you're going to, not boiling, warm water, you're going to take this. You're going to take, you know, those little black charcoal capsules, okay? Don't eat the pig fat. Open the capsule up, pour the charcoal, activated charcoal in there. After that, you're going to do this. Go back and get a key lime. Put 1/2 of one of those squeezed in there just to get your liver functioning so it's ready to digest those things. Okay? Then you're going to do this. Get you a papaya. Okay? With that papaya, you're going to get 1/4 teaspoon of papaya seeds. You cut the papaya in half and there's these little seeds inside. You can crush them before like I do. I take them and I mash them in the bottom of a cup and then I pour everything in there. 1/4 teaspoon of those. Okay? Once again, MSN is okay, yes. And I'm going to do my best to type this up for you guys when I'm done. I wanted you guys to hear the scriptures more than anything, okay? 1/4 teaspoon of those papaya seeds mixed with the activated charcoal and a little bit of lime, okay? Then you're going to take 1/4 teaspoon of coconut oil, okay? Put that in there. And then once you're done with that, this is the last one. This is one a lot of people miss out on. Thyme, Thyme. What that does is gets rid of mucus. See, parasites love mucus. They love it because it holds them in place and allows them to do their thing. What thyme does is breaks all that mucus down all the way down through your chest and through your lungs and through your throat. So as it's breaking down, you have that going. You have your binders also. So take some ground pepper even, some black pepper, and throw that in there as well. So here's your shot. Warm water, papaya seeds, black charcoal, activated charcoal, the key lime mixed in there as well, coconut oil, and that's it, okay? What that has is your parasite killer. It also has your thyme for getting rid of the mucus and also to stop egg production and to flush your eggs out. Take that thing on down, okay? And then you're going to need to sit down for a little bit. Don't get too active after that one. It could cause you to have a little bit of headache, but a headache is usually a sign that it's working. Okay, what that's going to do is give a process of detox like you'd never had before in your life, all right? Truly. Take that shot, and it'll work wonders. From that point, you're like, man, it's already lunchtime, and all I've been doing is detoxing all morning. That's perfectly fine. There's most days where I don't even really start eating until about 2 or 3 o'clock, and then I have my last meal about 5 o'clock, and that's it for the whole day. And those are little things. Now, I'll say this. I have cut back, and a lot of people will tell you this too. I went, with me and my wife, I can't take any credit for this. Me and my wife went 3 months completely without touching meat. You know, like Daniel. Daniel even told the king right to his face he'll eat the vegetables and things like that. You might want to clear out some meats, okay? I'm not saying be a vegetarian, okay? You can eat some lentils. You can eat some split peas. Both of those things have high protein. You can eat some peanut butter. What else you can do is clean meats, like clean lean meats, like grilled chicken instead of fried chicken, things like that, all right? Make sure you eat right and treat yourself right. Now, while you're doing this, okay, here's your schedule. You can do you need every single morning, you need to do that 16-ounce glass of what I call a hydration drink with your water, 16 ounces of water, key limes, all that stuff I told you at the beginning. That's a daily morning thing. Let that be the first thing you do every morning. And also do that same 16-ounce drink at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon as well, okay? Don't ever just drink straight water, especially just straight filtered water. Do you know what that does? Do you ever just sit and just eat 1,000 watermelons or anything like that? No, okay? You need to put things in your water, living water, make it active water, like electrolytes. We're batteries, okay? You got to give it some electrolytes. You got to do some things. Filter out the junk, fill it with the good stuff. Don't ever just purge yourself with water because you're not putting anything in there. Always do your hydration drinks, okay? Then nighttime. Nighttime's another big one. What you can do is do your binders again at nighttime, which is your charcoal, ground pepper and thyme and water in a little shot glass like I was telling you. Do that before bed, even mix in a little chamomile in there if you want to. And I'll say this, those things can be done daily. The sulfur water drink, I would do that every other day, if that. Your parasite cleanse, do that for a week and a half, 2 weeks. That's what I've been doing. I feel great. However, I would still do a week off. But in that week off, don't fill yourself back up with pork and crap, okay? Eat right. Do things good, all right? Now, like I say, I'll be glad to post all this in the comments for you guys or either in a whole separate post. The main thing is this. If some of you guys got on at the end of this video, I encourage you to jump back into the beginning of the video. And the whole reason why we're talking about all this stuff now, because it needs to be done. And I want to get back to this warning. Don't freak out when you look in the toilet and you see some dead things in there. Just being honest with you, because it will scare you. You're like, that came out of me? Indeed, it came out of you, and there's probably a lot more inside of you that you don't realize. Are you full of rage? Are you full of anger? Are you full of all kinds of things like that? Anxiety, worry, fear? Most of those things come from parasites. I hope you realize that. If you're full of those things, and you're full of a lot of those things, make sure you clean them out. You'll feel a lot better, okay? So, if you would like to, once you get off this video, hang out on Facebook for about 5 minutes, and I will make a complete parasite cleansing, heavy metal detox thing that'll completely get you going of all these things I was telling you. And I promise you it'll work. I'm telling you as a testimony. I've done all this stuff for a long time. I would be careful with ivermectin. I'm just going to be honest. While ivermectin is good in a sense, it also will purge a lot of things out of your body that are not good for you, that is not good to be purged out. And also it's got some toxins in it that you have to be very, very careful with. Ivermectin was a big hit at first once everybody found out about parasites. But boy, oh boy, I'd be very careful with ivermectin. Seriously, okay? If you want to switch to something better, do clove oil, okay? Do wormwood. That's even better. But I will say this, be very careful with ivermectin. There's a lot of people that have a really bad reflex to it, and I am one of those. If Miss Rachel is watching this right now, she will tell you how ivermectin affected me. I went to Colorado and spent a week with her family like last year, and she was the first time I had ivermectin, and man, I'm telling you, I felt like straight up poo. It was horrible. So you got to be real careful, all right? So once again, after this video, hang out for a little bit. I will post a good detox of cleansing parasites, cleansing heavy metals, and I promise you, you will come out clear thinking. Okay, maybe you'll have a whole different understanding. Maybe that's why the prodigal son stopped eating pig slop with pigs, and he came to his senses. Indubitably. Alrighty. Alright, so there we go. There's all that. Oh, you're in Colorado and you would love to meet Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel would probably love it. So, anyway, I'm going to jump off of here. I've got some typing to do, and then I got to start back to the RV for my family, because I come a long ways up here to talk to you guys with this horrible internet service that they have here. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you read some things that you didn't even know about. All right. Yeah, that's about it. I'll do my best to jump up here in the morning. Usually when my family's asleep, I'm up and active and going. Okay, so I'll try my best to get up here with you guys again tomorrow. I have a very powerful word for you. I can't wait for it. However, I'm going to wait on that. But anyway, I love you guys. I hope you are having a good day and or night. And I will tell you this, do not be full of fear, but do the things in